Mark's toughest fight ever wasn't against Conquest or Thragg. It was on the toilet. Oh God! But how did Invincible end up in this desperate situation? Well, it all started after Mark and Eve arrived on Telskria, the first alien planet Eve had ever seen. Alan the alien was there to welcome them and ask how the trip went. It was great, Mark responds. Alan then greets their daughter Tara, which he instantly regrets when she pokes him directly in the eye, his weak spot. His bodyguards immediately rush in thinking Alan is under attack. So Eve activates her powers, ready to fight. But even while holding his eye in pain, Alan orders everyone to calm down and apologizes for the misunderstanding. Then he casually points out that his guards are basically useless anyway, since he's stronger than all of them combined. That's when Oliver finally arrives, late as usual. He apologizes for still being terrible with time management, and Mark can't help but notice how different he looks now. Because of his Thraxan genes, Oliver has been aging insanely fast. Oliver then excitedly says he wants them to meet his new girlfriend. Mark happily agrees, saying he would love to meet her, but first points out he still doesn't even know where he's living. Alan smiles and says, "You're gonna love it," and he shows them their massive luxury apartment in the middle of Telskria. After settling in, Mark and Eve immediately fall asleep from exhaustion after their long journey. Later that night, Eve wakes Mark up and quietly whispers that Tara is asleep and that they finally have some time alone. But Mark jumps out of bed in pure panic because of a previous experience with Anissa. Eve gets annoyed and asks what is wrong with him. But before Mark can answer, someone knocks at the door. It's Oliver and his girlfriend Haluma. And Haluma is part bug, which honestly makes sense considering Oliver's also half Thraxan. Haluma immediately rushes into the kitchen and starts cooking all kinds of weird alien food. Oliver leans toward Mark and explains that even though Haluma might not look attractive to humans, now Mark probably understands why he never felt attracted to humans himself. Then he whispers, "Did you see those mandibles?" Mark awkwardly nods. "Yeah, they look nice." Eventually, dinner's ready, and both Mark and Eve are extremely skeptical. But Oliver starts eating immediately and tells them they at least have to try it. So Mark takes one bite and instantly falls in love with the food. Meanwhile, Eve cautiously sticks to vegetables. "You're crazy," Mark says while stuffing his face. "This stuff is amazing." But the second Oliver and Haluma leave, Mark realizes that something is very wrong. So he tells Eve he's sleeping on the couch tonight because something terrible is about to happen. The next morning, we see Mark absolutely fighting for his life on the toilet. Oh God! He groans while curling his toes in agony. Eve knocks on the door and asks if he's okay. "Almost done," Mark painfully groans. Finally, after surviving what might have been his hardest battle ever, Mark reaches for the flush button. Nothing happens, so he presses it again. Still nothing. Again, nothing. Panic starts setting in. Then Eve finally says, "That's it, I'm coming in." "No, don't!" Mark screams, but it's already too late. Eve walks in and immediately freezes in horror. "Don't look at it!" Mark yells in embarrassment, but Eve just stares at the toilet and quietly says, "Now that I have seen it, I can't look away." Then she casually presses a button underneath the toilet. And thanks to advanced alien technology, the entire thing basically turns into a blender and destroys the evidence instantly. Mark and Eve just stand there in silence, staring at the toilet. At first, Eve says she's not sure she'll ever see him the same way again. Completely broken, Mark quietly says he's going to shower for the rest of the day.